Kingsale. Val, good morning to you. Have yourself a wonderful Wednesday. Sending good vibes to you and the entire home circle.
DBS News. Fresh in the morning. Eye-opening and balanced. The DBS Morning News starts right now.
This morning's headlines: President of Dominica, Her Excellency Sylvanie Burton, will be honored with the Global Inspirational Leadership Award and inducted into the Global Power Women's Network in New York on Thursday. News from the regional scene. A Trinidad and Tobago High Court judge said Tuesday the former vice president of the International Football Federation, Austin Jack Warner, was subjected to a flawed process when the U.S. sought his extradition to face several fraud charges over the last few years. And news from the international scene: Typhoon Ragasa has made landfall in China, which evacuated some 2 million people in preparation. Details of the morning news right after this.
Yummy. Yummy. Looking for something sweet, chewy, delicious, or even crunchy? We've got you covered. Mars and Wrigley's products are the perfect pick for all your sweet tooth cravings. Available in M&M's, Twix, Milky Way, Snickers, Skittles, and even gummies. So next time your cravings are at an all-time high, choose Mars and Wrigley's.
Available at Fine Foods Inc. distribution or your favorite supermarket island-wide.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
DBS News.
Welcome back to the DBS Major Morning News. The news this morning brought to listeners through the kind compliments of HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited, Petro Caribe, and Fine Foods Inc. My name is Curtis Matthew. Here now is our lead story. The Office of the President is proud to announce that Her Excellency Sylvanie Burton, President of Dominica, will be honored with the Global Inspirational Leadership Award and inducted into the Global Power Women's Network in New York Thursday. The prestigious award will come from the Center for Economic and Leadership Development during its upcoming Global Power Women's Conference. The award and induction recognized President Burton's outstanding leadership, unwavering commitment to advancing gender equality, and visionary role in shaping policies which empower communities and inspire global progress. The organization says her dedication to reimagining leadership and fostering exclusive prosperity aligns with the conference's theme, The Power Shift, Women Reimagining Leadership, Legacy, and Global Prosperity. In receiving the award, President Burton joins a distinguished circle of leaders who exemplify courage, resilience, and transformative influence on the world stage. Her recognition is a testament to her personal achievements and the broader movement towards more inclusive and visionary leadership worldwide. The presentation and induction will take place immediately after the delivery of a keynote address at the said conference in the presence of global leaders, change makers, and trailblazers. Well, that major ceremony to recognize the Dominica president will take place on Thursday. Other news this morning, visually impaired Loic Charles will serve as special assistant to the Prime Minister on matters of youth and disability. In a Facebook post yesterday, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit said he met a young man, Loic Charles, who is legally blind. He's an exceptional, talented Dominican with huge potential, and he will join the staff of the Office of the Prime Minister. His engagement will begin on October 1. 2025. Education Minister Octavia Alfred has called on the Adult Education Division to develop a national directory of skilled persons. Her call came during the graduation of 400 individuals under the Adult Education Program last weekend.
And even as we move forward, I hope the Adult Education Division will also create their part of the National Directory of Skilled Persons. This is a document that we are putting together because you hear people saying they can't find skilled workers, and you hear skilled people saying they can't find jobs sometimes. But if we have a National Skills Directory, Skilled Workers Directory, you can go on the government website and punch in hair braider, or whatever they call them, braiding, nail tech, and the directory will show you who is the closest person to you that can do that. Because some people sometimes looking for people and there's a person just a drive away and then you don't know that. So I hope we will get the information to add it to those we have already. Now, according to the world, the demand for skilled workers has been greater, never been greater than now. And Dominica is no exception. Developing projects such as the International Airport, the Marina, the cable car, and the geothermal plant, infrastructure growth, tourism, technology, agriculture, and the creative industries all depend on men and women who are competent, disciplined, and professionally trained. It is for this reason that the Ministry of Education and the government of Dominica as a whole remains firmly committed to expanding access to technical and vocational education and training.
And that's the minister responsible for education, Octavia Alfred. 16 families will receive keys to modern apartment units Thursday in Eggleston. The hurricane-resilient 3-bedroom apartments cost in the region of $300,000 and $320,000. Here is the parliamentary representative for Rosa South, Shakira Lockhart-Hippolyte.
This journey to building resilient homes in Roseau South began in 2019 when I became their parliamentary representative. The main challenge that we face is availability of land for housing, and government purchased several acres in Eggleston to allow for this housing development to materialize. And today, we see the most beautiful, scenic, and eye-catching apartments in Dominica, right here in Eggleston. It is said that good things come to those who wait. And, well, we have waited, and we have gotten great things. Each apartment costs in the region of $300,000 to $320,000.
And that's the parliamentary representative for Roseau South, Shakira Lockhart-Hippolyte. The PAL rep expressed gratitude to the government of Dominica for ensuring that the project became a reality. She expressed gratitude to the government for ensuring that these projects have been delivered and the people will receive their keys on Thursday.
Modern, resilient apartments. A gift from the government of Dominica. I want to thank our beloved Prime Minister, the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, for his unwavering support and ensuring that we in Roseau South benefit from this housing revolution. The Minister of Housing for her support and advice always throughout the construction of the apartment units. MMCE and CR5 for the design and construction of the most beautiful apartments in Dominica. Once again, I want to take the opportunity as parliamentary representative to invite all of Roseau South and Dominica to descend in Eggleston on Thursday at 4:30 p.m. to witness 16 families who will receive the keys to their new home. A grand celebration it will be.
And that's the parliamentary representative for the Roseau South constituency, Shakira Lockett Hippolyte. Minister responsible for tourism, Denise Charles Pemberton, says the inaugural flight of Contour Airlines into Dominica is a landmark achievement in government's drive to expand air transportation into the country. Dominica will open a new chapter in regional connectivity this afternoon when Contour Airlines launches its first non-stop flight from Cyril E. King Airport in St. Thomas to Douglas Charles Airport. The arrival will be greeted with a water cannon salute and an official welcome ceremony at the VIP lounge of Douglas Charles Airport.
On September 24th, Dominica will make history as the very first international destination for Contour Airlines. With the launch of non-stop service from St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, and San Juan, Puerto Rico, we are opening a new chapter in regional connectivity and tourism growth. This inaugural flight is a symbol of progress, partnership, and confidence in Dominica's future. For our people, it means easier and more affordable travel. For our Dominican nationals abroad, it strengthens family and cultural ties. And for our visitors, it makes the nature island more accessible than ever before. As Minister for Tourism, I see this as a landmark achievement in our government's agenda to expand airlift and position Dominica as a premier Caribbean destination. Contour Airlines' choice of Dominica as its first international gateway is a powerful vote of confidence in our vision and stability. I warmly invite everyone to join us live on Wednesday, September 24 at 4:30 p.m. as we celebrate this historic inaugural flight together.
And that's Dominica's Minister for Tourism, Denise Charles Pemberton. Well, that ceremony to begin a little after 4:30 today. It will be broadcast live by DBS Radio. Dominica's Goodwill Ambassador, Asa Banton, welcomed the introduction of the new airline into Dominica.
I wanted
having that direct flight, it's a huge win for Dominica, also a huge win for St. Thomas because a lot of people going to be coming straight up to St. Thomas. And I represent the entertainment industry. So for Carnival, St. Thomas Carnival, Dominica Carnival, our festival, St. John's Carnival. Also, I have a flight called Breakfast Fete. So a lot of people are going to be using that flight. And I can guarantee you that you're going to have to add additional flights on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So to all Dominicans and friends of Dominicans, now is the time to come home, visit. The flight is here. That's what the flight is here for. I want to thank the government of the Virgin Islands and the government of Dominica and Contour Airlines for putting this together.
And that's Dominica's Goodwill Ambassador, Asa Banton. He spoke at the ceremony in St. Thomas earlier this week. Again, the flight into Dominica will be broadcast live by DBS Radio a little after 4:30 this afternoon. let's head into Trinidad and Tobago, because a Trinidad and Tobago High Court judge said Tuesday the former vice president of the International Football Federation, Austin Jack Warner, was subjected to a fraud process when the U.S. sought his extradition to face several fraud-related charges. The 81-year-old Jack Warner, he faced 29 charges from U.S. authorities for fraud, racketeering, and illegal wire transfer that allegedly took place in the U.S., Trinidad and Tobago, and other countries between 1990 and June 2011. After the ruling yesterday, Warner said it's time to move on with what is left of his life. Finally, this morning, Typhoon Ragasa has made landfall in China, which evacuated some 2 million people in preparation. At least 15 people have died in Taiwan after a lake burst, causing severe flooding in the east. Geologists describe it as a tsunami from the mountains. Ragasa has weakened from super to severe typhoon status, but remains highly destructive. The equivalent of a Category 5 hurricane, Ragasa is the world's strongest storm this year. It is 16 minutes after 7 o'clock. That's news. Don't go away. The sports report comes up shortly.
Are you tired of having the same boring breakfast every morning? Well, Monflake Oats is the healthy and perfect solution just for you. Make your breakfast exciting by adding Monflakes to your pancakes, parfait, or even milkshake. Monflake can be found in different sizes and available in granola, such as Caribbean or Hawaiian. Stop worrying about what to prepare for your breakfast, dessert, snack, or even dinner. Monflake is the best addition to your meal. Grab yourself a bag today.
Locally distributed by Fine Foods Inc. and available island-wide.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Here's a quick tip from NBD.
A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your more banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert. Stay secure. When in doubt, contact NBD, your partner, your bank.
Let's begin the DBS Morning Sports Report with basketball news. A spot in the playoffs of the DABA Premier League will be up for grabs tonight as the Premier League heads into its final round of matches this week. The Happy 767 Sports Club Dominators and Hilltop Services Trafalgar Prowlers are the two teams fighting for the fourth and final position. The two teams will meet each other at 9 o'clock tonight. A win for either team will guarantee them a berth to the playoffs. The Dominators currently occupy the fourth and final spot with 23 points, while the Prowlers are fifth on 21 points. The Prowlers player coach, Edgar George, says it's going to be an intense battle tonight.
The mindset of the guys so far has been one that I could say has been relaxed. If you realize the Prowlers team is one which has a lot of what I like to call veterans, guys who have been there and done that. You have guys like Bernard Mills, Ronald Bruno. We have one of Dominica's best, Thomas Felix, who has really come on board and give us a nice push. So it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be intense, but the guys know what it is, to play basketball and do their best. So for now, I think everybody's relaxed. The guys are just looking forward to getting that game and playing that game and, trying to get the team to the next round.
And that's the Prowlers player coach, Edgar George. Meanwhile, coach of the 767 Sports Club Dominators, Dunstan Maggie Peters, says the team is aware that their season is on the line tonight.
It's going to be a tough battle because we're talking about a lot of experienced seasoned players, You put the names you call, they are very experienced players, and they're very, very, they think the game, they just play the game, so we have to think the game as well. What we have on them, our advantage on them is, I think, is fitness, So I think what we need to do is to really take it to them. We need to run, run at them. Don't let them set up. Don't let them on defense. Don't let them set up. Catch them out of shape, out of positioning. Yeah, we cannot play them in a half-court set. They're very smart, especially Thomas and Mills. And then you have Craig, who's a very strong, player on the ball, on defense and offense. So we have to be, we have to try and work with the speed. Point guard, they have one, With that speed, we have to, and the rest of the guys have to run with him. If we can do that, then we'll be successful.
And that's the coach of the 767 Sports Club Dominators, Dunstan Maggie Peters. The other game tonight, the Police Sports Club will be hoping to put an end to their 11-match losing streak and end their season with a victory. The Police will be up against the Dr. Daru Pishley Sports Club Falcons. The Falcons have already been eliminated from contention for a playoff spot in the Premier League. The table heading into the final round of matches see the defending champions, Detroit Blazers, leading the way with 27 points. The Peebush Super Eagles are second on 25. The BAA Sharks are third, 24, but could still end the season in first place with victories in their final two matches. Dominators are on 23 points in fourth place. The Prowlers fifth on 21. The Falcons sixth on 21. And the Police are in the cellar position on 10 points. Well, of course, the basketball action heats up at the Massac Indoor Facility tonight. Some football news now. Head coach of the women's national football team, Ronnie Gustav, says there is a lot of work to do following Dominica's participation at the Windward Islands Women's Tournament. Dominica ended the competition with 4 defeats, conceding 17 goals in the process. Gustav says the coaching staff will have a lot of work to do with the ladies ahead of the World Cup qualifiers in November.
Well, yes, Gavin, we have seen our weaknesses being in that tournament. We see where the girls are lacking as a team. You know, the cohesiveness between them, the passes, our passes wasn't precise in the games. Our reaction was another phase in our game that was not up to standard. So, yes, there's quite a bit of work to be done with the ladies, especially in the passing, the stringing the passes, playing and move in the game, because we know football is a thing. You always have to be on the movements on the pitch. Your passes is the most crucial thing in a game situation. So that part of it there, we really have to do a lot of work there with the ladies. And the last game, besides the scores also, I think the ladies give a good account of it, of themselves. They fight hard for each other on the pitch. It's unfortunately we did not win any games, but it's a working process, you know, and you have to have patience because it's a fact that it's a very new team that there, and trying to get them to gel with one another is the most important thing.
And that's the head coach of the women's national football team, Ronnie Gustav. He says the results also highlighted the need for the clubs to do more in getting the players prepared for national level.
We also call on the clubs as well to do some work with the ladies, you know, to bring them up to a certain standard, because when we call them on nationals, they should be able to have the basics of control and passing. And for somehow we have to be staying back to do those things with the ladies, which is not helping us at all. So it is just like a recurrent decimal coming back doing the same thing over and over whenever we are called up for a tournament. So going forward, we really need to you know, do better than that as clubs, you know, to when the ladies are called, that they have the basics coming to the trials. Our reaction was another thing in our game that we need to work on. It was very slow, you know, fitness level. We need to boost up a bit on that as well.
Some more football news. The Dominica Football Association, DFA, has handed out suspensions to 11 players from the Premier League side Middleham United following their decision to walk off the field during their final match of the season against Promex Harlem United back in August. The Middleham team had walked off the field after 2 of their players were red-carded. The matter was brought before the disciplinary committee of the DFA. The committee ruled that the 9 players who walked off the field, Curtly Augustine, Marcellus Bonney, Josima Gustav, Ajani Richards, Jermaine John Lewis, Clevin Pascal, Clayson Pascal, Kenneth Valmont, and DeAndre Peltier have all been suspended for 5 games. Fitzroy Benjamin has been suspended for 4 games for verbal threats. Shakim Gregoire has been banned for 2 matches for dissent. The entire club has also been banned for 2 matches for abandoning play. The club has also been ordered to write an apology to the DFA president within 14 days. Otherwise, an additional 2 matches will be added to the suspension. The West Indies head coach Darren Sammy is hoping to one day get Shafin Rutherford into the West Indies test team. Rutherford had an outstanding year in 2024 in one-day cricket, and Sammy is confident he is one of the players that can succeed in the longer format of the game. He says Rutherford was on the radar for selection for the India series. Sammy also commented on Jason Holder and his future with the West Indies team.
I mean, Shufin, that year he had last year, the ability to play spin. I mean, I planted a seed in his ear for, I think, over 6-7 months ago, you know, when we knew we were going to play against India. And he promised to get back, but again, with the workload that he's had, you know, I mean, He's playing more franchise cricket. He's been playing all of our white ball games, full CPL. And he requested the time to recharge his batteries. So that I can't fault him for. Jason Holder, yes, he has been considered. However, if you like open conversations with him, the role Justin has played in the test team, it's direct, with the role Jason would have been doing, So and it's conversations I've had with him about test cricket, where we see him, and yeah, that's it. But he's been considered at the moment. The role that we would love for him to play is being played by Justin Graves.
Meantime, Darren Sammy is hoping that the bowlers can continue with their good form as of late against India.
We have found ourselves in a position where our seam attack could operate in any conditions. That 6 to 8 meter length works across the world. If you look at the best in the world, the Brumers, the Josh Hazelwoods, the Pat Cummins, all of them operate on that 6 to 8 meter length. It doesn't matter if they're India or Australia. Australia, it might be a touch fuller because of the bounce. India, it might be a touch shorter because of how the wicket sometimes skids through and stuff like that. But in our fast bowling department, we got 4 different guys who their skill set has its own variety, where you have Shamar Joseph, who's very skiddy, Jaden, who a strong front leg, who can swing the ball both ways, and then you have Alzari Joseph with his height and the bounce he could extract. So again, we take confidence in that, especially the way they've been bowling over the last year. The ability to take 20 wickets, because that's what you will need in India. If you can't take 20 wickets in India, you are on the back foot, and we have a bowling lineup that, especially from the same department, that could take 20 wickets.
And that's the West Indies head coach, Darren Sammy. Finally, the Indian wicketkeeper batter, Rishabh Pant, is set to miss the 2-match series against the West Indies, starting in India from October 2. Pant, who was India's vice-captain in the last series in England this year, suffered a fractured left foot during the 4th Test match. Pant has been undergoing strength and conditioning and is awaiting further updates from the Board of Control for Cricket in India's medical team before he can resume batting and keeping. There is no firm timeline for his return. India, they are scheduled to play a white ball series in Australia from the 19th of October after the West Indies series. The India-West Indies test matches are part of the World Test Championship. India are currently 3rd on the table. The West Indies are 6th after 3 losses in 3 games. And we can bring you this final item. The International Cricket Council, ICC, has suspended USA Cricket. The decision was taken by the ICC board after a virtual meeting on Tuesday. USA Cricket suspension will not impact USA's participation in the T20 World Cup starting February in India and Sri Lanka. While the specific reason for the suspension has not yet been confirmed, it comes just after 2 months after the ICC at its annual general meeting in July had granted USA Cricket 3 months to hold free and fair elections and carry out comprehensive governance reforms. The ICC board also warned the USA Cricket that it reserved the right to take any action it deemed fit based on the progress of the reforms. That too is a look at the DBS morning news and sports. Join us again at 11 for a news update and at 1:15 for another major newscast. El Hazari got news from Gerard George and Carlisle John Baptist, and a young lady this morning from HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited who told me they will be tuned to DBS throughout the day. In fact, they're saying when they're looking for great programming on radio, they don't have far to go. It's DBS. So Gerard George, Carlisle John Baptist, and this young lady from HHV Whitchurch and Company, they're going to be tuned throughout the day. Today, on behalf of News and Sports and Hazari Williams, Curtis Matthew saying, good morning, do have a fantastic day today.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood.